know.
We begin here at 6 o'clock with more calls for the impeachment of Oklahoma State Superintendent.
Online parent petitions in the past have called for Ryan Walters to step down, but tonight there's a growing chorus coming directly from Democratic lawmakers.
News 9's Haley Wager has the latest now from the state capitol.
The calls for impeaching Walters comes from House Democrats, but House Republicans say it's not time to take that step just yet. If you ask around the Capitol, there's disagreement on impeaching State Superintendent Ryan Walters.
I would definitely support the impeachment.
On one side, Representative Mickey Dolenz.
A lot of things that would be impeachable, but he hasn't reached any of those.
The other, Representative Mark McBride. This conversation all starting with Dolenz.
It's just been one thing after another. After the recent bomb threats, that was when I knew I needed to speak up.
Dolenz' call coming on social media, but a formal request, he says, would have to come from a Republican.
Now, I'm a Democrat in a supermajority Republican Party, and with the people of Oklahoma having elected GOP leadership in the House, Senate, and governor's seat, articles of impeachment would need to start with them.
But Representative Mark McBride, a Republican, says it's not in the cards to start that process just yet.
And I'm not defending Secretary Walters, but is that his fault that some sick individual called in a bomb threat?
Walters released a statement on the 3 bomb threats in Tulsa after Dolenz calls for impeachment, saying in part, any threat against Oklahoma schools, our children, or other officials is reprehensible and absolutely unacceptable. Now, after continued calls of impeachment from lawmakers and the public, all eyes are on Walters.
But we do know that Ryan Walters lied to the legislature during an official meeting, and then also the mishandling of federal dollars with the gear audit.
At this point, there's more members of the legislature that are very dissatisfied with what's going on.
Dissatisfied, but McBride says it would take criminal charges to move forward.
Just because you don't like somebody or don't like what they say doesn't mean that they've committed a crime or you can impeach them.
Communications director for the Senate Pro Tem said until there are articles of impeachment brought to the Senate, we won't be able to comment. Walters' advisor did not respond to a request for comment on the impeachment. At the Capitol for Oklahoma's Own, I'm Haley Wager.
And tonight we are learning more about what an impeachment process would actually entail. It would start with a House vote and then head to the Senate.
The Chief Justice of the state of Oklahoma would serve as the presiding judge, and members of the House would bring the articles of impeachment and serve as prosecution.
State statute says elected officials can be impeached for willful neglect of duty, corruption, habitual drunkenness, incompetency, or any offense involving moral turpitude committed while in office.